It is 3 in the morning, and I am still staring at these screens. I feel like my mind is a sieve. I am making 1,000 micro-choices a minute. What to click, what to ignore, how to respond. But at the end of the day, I feel like I haven't actually thought about anything.
We are born into a machine that never sleeps. You believe you are the one choosing your thoughts, but most of the work that produces your impressions and decisions goes on in total silence.
That silence is what I'm missing. I try to be deliberate, to weigh every option, but it's exhausting. It feels like my capacity to be rational is a battery that drains before I even finish my first cup of coffee. Sometimes I wonder whether this exhaustion is the hidden cost of modern life. We wanted speed. We wanted choice. We wanted access. But no one warned us that choosing all the time would feel like carrying the weight of every possible future. Even rest now feels like a decision. And by the time the day begins, something in me already feels spent.
You are describing the struggle of the two characters that inhabit your mind. One is the fast, intuitive one that leaps to conclusions to save you energy. The other is the slow, effortful one that is supposed to be the inspector, checking the work of the first.
But the inspector is always tired. In my world, everything is designed to make me move faster, to jump to the next thing without looking back.
That is because the inspector is fundamentally lazy. It does not want to invest more effort than is strictly necessary. Consequently, the thoughts and actions you believe you have chosen are often merely suggestions from the fast one that you have passively endorsed.
And that fast part of me, it's so confident. I see a headline or a snippet of a video, and I instantly feel like I understand the whole situation. I feel like I know who the villain is and what will happen next.
That is the primary rule of the mind. What you see is all there is. We are radically insensitive to both the quality and the quantity of the information that gives rise to our impressions. You build the best possible story from the few scraps of evidence you have. And if that story is coherent, you feel a deep sense of certainty.
So, the more coherent the story, the more I believe it, even if it's based on nothing.
Precisely. Coherence creates a sense of ease that we mistake for truth. It is easier to construct a perfect story when you know very little, because there are fewer contradictions to spoil the narrative. We are often most confident when we are most ignorant. Ignorance feels light. It allows the mind to move quickly, without friction, without hesitation, without responsibility. Knowledge, by contrast, slows us down. It introduces doubt, trade-offs, and the uncomfortable awareness that reality rarely offers clean answers. That discomfort is not a weakness. It is the price of seeing more clearly. And this is why certainty feels so seductive, even when it is quietly misleading us.
That makes the world feel incredibly dangerous. I look back at my own choices, projects that failed or relationships that ended, and it feels so obvious now. I tell myself, I should have seen it coming.
That is the trick of the backward-looking mind. Once the world changes, you lose the ability to remember what it felt like to be uncertain. You reconstruct the past to make the present seem inevitable.
I do that constantly. I blame myself for not being a fortune teller, but you're saying I'm actually just a storyteller after the fact.
Yes, and this storytelling has a cost. Because you believe you understand the past, you fall into the illusion that the future is also under your control. You treat the world as if it were more tidy and predictable than it really is.
I think that's why I'm so afraid of making a mistake. The pain of losing something I already have, even just a little bit of status or a small investment, feels so much sharper than the joy of gaining something new.
This is the asymmetry of our biology. We are the descendants of organisms that treated threats as more urgent than opportunities. A loss is not just a number on a balance sheet, it is a wound.
And I suppose my world frames these wounds for me. If a choice is described to me in terms of what I might lose, I become a different person than if it's described in terms of what I might keep.
You are not reality-bound. You are frame-bound. The same objective truth can evoke completely different emotions depending on its clothing.
I'm starting to wonder who I actually am. Am I the person experiencing this moment right now, the one who is tired and overwhelmed? Or am I the person who will look back on this night tomorrow and tell a story about it?
You are navigating a conflict between two masters, the one who lives and the one who keeps score. The self that lives has no voice in your memory. The self that keeps score is a poor witness who values a sharp ending or a singular peak more than a long, quiet happiness.
So, I might choose a path that gives me a better story, even if it means more actual suffering while I'm on it?
We act as if we want to be happy, but more often, we are merely trying to satisfy the self that remembers. We are strangers to ourselves, governed by a machine we did not design, moving through a world we only partially see.
If I am blind to my own blindness, if I cannot even trust my own confidence, where does that leave me?
Perhaps it leaves you at the beginning of a different kind of attention, a slow realization that the voice in your head is not an oracle, but a narrator, one that is often wrong, always hurried, and deeply afraid of the silence where it cannot speak.
I think I will turn off the screens now, not because I have the answers, but because I finally suspect the questions I've been answering aren't the ones that matter.